How's it going, guys? Today is Friday, February 26th. I hope you guys had an amazing trading week. I know the market's been a little bit sketchy, that's to say the least. Okay, so what I want to get into is a trade review on TLT. We are going to get into it right after this. This is Patrick, and you're trading with Prime. Let me know what you guys think about the intro video. Should I get rid of it, keep it? Is it just kind of annoying, a thing that's there? I think it's a little bit too slow. Somebody might have already pointed that out to me. I'm having a lot of issues trying to make the music speed up a little bit with the in sync with the video. And so let me know what you think. Doesn't even matter. Okay, let's get into it. TLT. What we want to look at on TLT is we want to look at a trade review that we did. But first, I want to show you guys how I utilize the bond market to try to not predict the stock market or the moves of the stock market, but to give me a little bit more evidence as far as what is to come in the broad market. And so first thing I want to kind of narrow in on, this is TLT, and in purple you see SPY. Just take a glance at the screen. I know there's a lot going on. I'm not going to get crazy in-depth explaining it, but you can pause the video and take a look at the blue boxes and take a look at the orange boxes and or orange circles. See, I don't even know my shapes. What I want to do for you guys is I want to show you the divergences that we see in the market sometimes can lead to a you got to use my words really carefully. Not a prediction, but a little bit of clues towards one way or the other what's going to happen in the broad market. We can't use this information by itself to trade with as far as the broad market goes, but we can use this information in combination with things like the put to call ratio, which we'll do in another video. We can utilize this information in things like do I want to go long on the SPY? And something also maybe currency. Do I want to take a look at currency, see what the dollar is doing, see that it's affecting the market? But also I want to leave you with this, and then we'll get into the video. Things change in the market, and that's why I always say the market is dynamic. It's always changing. So something I see on the screen right now today might be true today, but in a year from now it might not be true. Like the moral of the story lately, you'll hear a lot about these interest rates. The moral of the story is the market does not want to see high rates. The funny thing is the rates in the market a lot of times on good up days, since the March lows pretty much, yields have been rising since the March lows, and all of a sudden this year, traders and investors don't like high rates. They don't like the higher rates, even though we know the banks love them, but maybe investors don't like them, and so the market's going to sell off. I think no matter what, the market's going to do what it's going to do, and whether we get high rates or not, maybe the rates just came about too sudden. It's too soon. I just think it's funny how this time around, as far as the rates go, all of a sudden people don't like high rates. Okay, let's get into it now. Blue box is what you see. These are the areas of the market that TLT likes to inverse of the SPY normally. Normally we see a lot of inverse kind of behavior, and as you can clearly see on the screen, if I put the little cursor over the purple SPY line, you can kind of see how they are inverse. And something else I want you guys to kind of notice here is you see how the jaws of life keep coming back towards each other. No matter how far away the TLT gets from the SPY, it'll usually come back. And you can pause the video and go look at the chart, or in fact, open up your trading platform and do a comparison, and then go ahead and put it on the chart, do a comparison of TLT and the SPY. In fact, while you're at it, you can do a comparison of gold and SPY, and you can do a comparison of UUP, which is the dollar, a proxy for the dollar, and the SPY. Start learning these comparisons because it can help out in trading in the long run. Now, I want to get into the point of this video was a trade review. And so what you see is these orange circles right here represent a divergence. And what I mean, a divergence in a market that is inverse to SPY, the divergence sometimes can be when they trade together. And as you can see back here, February, before the coronavirus crash, you can see how TLT led the way, and then the SPY in the broad market reacted to the coronavirus. But really, the coronavirus was a pinprick to a market that was already in a bubble, and that's why you have such a massive sell-off. And now that leads us to current prices, right? You see this action with TLT where it's selling off pretty hard, but so is the SPY all week. And that's what I want to kind of get into right now. Where do I see this headed? Where do I see it going? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go, well, let me open up my Discord really quick. First thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and look at, I'm going to take this comparison off the chart, and I'm going to, let me pull something up here really quick. I am going to take the comparison off the chart, and I'm going to show you guys TLT closer range. Okay, this is the contract that we traded. We traded 29 of these. This was average cost was 67 cents. Current price 109. I believe that's a lot higher now, but at the time that I closed this out, it was 10. I'm sorry, did I say 109? 105. And so we don't have to hold this. We don't have to hold this over the weekend. We can go ahead and close it out. What I did today is I went ahead and closed out 28 of these contracts. I kept one contract, and then sometime during the day I added to it and I posted the alert in the Discord. And by the way, if you want more information on the Discord, it's in the description of the video. If you want to join the Discord, there is a free section to the Discord. We'll try to get more alerts into that section, but for now there's a premium side and a free side to the Discord. Check it out. Also, if you gain value out of this video, feel free to hit the like button. Okay, that's my commercial for the video. That's it. Let's get back into the work here. Okay, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to take this comparison off the chart if I can find it. Sometimes my brain doesn't work on a Friday afternoon, but let's go ahead and see. I'm not even in the right thing. Okay, we're going to take this comparison off the chart, hit apply. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to kind of narrow in on here. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who missed it a minute ago, what I want to kind of show you right now is TLT led the way before the coronavirus crash. TLT broke out and it was rallying, and then it went ahead and broke out even more to the upside. And let's check a date on that, okay? The date back here was 1/21 was around the breakout period, which was January 21st, January 17th. You saw this huge, massive bullish consolidation. And at the same time in the SPY and the broad market, you saw what was called the repo market. And the market just kept rallying and rallying and rallying right up into the bubble, and sucking in as many traders and investors and hedge fund manager. It sucked in everybody, the family dog. Everybody was buying calls. And of course, coronavirus comes along and pops the bubble. Okay, now let's get into the most recent price action. Recently, you saw the SPY has been selling off for what was it, a week now? And that's the first thing I noticed is I saw this area down here where you see the SPY was selling off, but guess what? So was TLT. And that was a little bit interesting. They were both picking up some speed. When I saw this capitulation, right? Now, the reversal candle wasn't necessarily a reversal candle. This trade alert was actually the day before the capitulation. It was this day right here, which was, let me get rid of the percentages here. How do we do the percentages? Show price as a percentage, get rid of that. Okay, down in here, which was on the 24th, the alert went out. And then we went ahead and posted another alert the following day, which was the 25th, which was yesterday, Thursday. You can go ahead and add here if you want, as long as price stays above the day's low. Well, the day's low was 136.61. And so now if I go ahead down to let me go back out to a weekly time frame and show you why I had this price area on the chart. And you know, we talk about this over and over and over and over again, right? You have a prior breakout area. Not only do you have a prior breakout area, you have what's called, somebody throw the word in the comment section. You have, come on, brain. Consolidation. Thank you. Somebody, whoever posted that, thank you. You've got consolidation on the chart. And what does price not like to do? It doesn't like to trade right through prior consolidation areas without consolidating again. So if you see this price action where it consolidates, then, and it doesn't start making higher highs out of that consolidation, if it starts consolidating down in this area between 136 and 143, if it starts consolidating and not making higher highs, that would be a good idea to get out of the trade if you are long, because it would be more probable that we break through the consolidation to the downside, and this probably isn't the magic number to the downside. Now, what do I say about this volume? This is massive volume. Look at this. This is weekly volume. The volume for the week was 141,265,000. That's pretty insane. Let's go back to the daily chart. And so as you can see here, it's more of a zone. And you have that prior consolidation area. It's more, here's your zone. it's not probable that price is just, as it's selling off, you want momentum. You want this thing to be a rocket. Well, what's another word for a rocket, but it goes down? A rocket that's up in space that doesn't have any doesn't have any jets, and it is falling down back to Earth. You want it to have a lot of momentum. You want it to pick up speed, and you got that momentum right here, right? And as it picks up speed, it hits into that consolidation area, and immediately somebody starts buying it up. And that's we have to take note of that. We have to consider the volume aspect of this. Now, I'm not saying tomorrow, maybe tomorrow it'll be back down at 140, maybe it'll be back down here, maybe it'll be below that. But that's the thing, is that we are in the trading business, and we have to learn when to apply risk and when to not apply risk. And so for this reason, for this TLT trade by itself, this is why I've been very hesitant going long on the SPY. This is why I'm keep posting things. It's not that I'm bearish the market, it's that the market is showing me that this is what it's doing. And it's hard for me to ignore that. And I'm not saying I'm waiting for TLT to roll over before I'll go long on the SPY. I'm just saying this is something to consider, is that I had two thoughts on this trade. One thought is this: the Fed chair, the United States government, banks are not, well, maybe the banks might like it. Central banks, maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll like it too. The government is not going to just sit by, even though we know the Fed chair already said he will just sit by. There's nothing to see here. Interest rates are just keep rising, and that's a great economy. We know that that's more likely a bad policy than it is a good policy, because that's not the case. Because if you don't lower interest rates, people aren't going to borrow. And if people aren't borrowing, that's not good for the economy. Right? So what I looked at for this trade, well, first of all, technical analysis. The second thing is, I don't see interest rates just continuing on up higher and higher and higher and higher. And if they did continue higher and higher, TLT would most likely be making new lows. But I'm convinced that it's not going to happen. Right? Fundamental, I just showed you the technical analysis side of it. And by the way, on the daily chart, we now have a reversal candle. That was yesterday's low. We can be long all day. So now what am I looking for? I'm looking for higher lows. I'm looking for higher highs. Up into, and as far as a target on this, if you are in this trade, maybe 144, maybe even 146, maybe 148. But ideally, I would love to see 150. 150 would be a nice little area to start exiting out of the trade if you are long shares. Now, as far as options go, that's not how I trade options. I take my profits. I don't try to diamond hands it. Okay, where was I? Yeah, back to the whole the Fed thing. Not, eventually they're going to start putting caps on interest rates. In fact, we could go do a Google search right now and look at what Fed Chair Powell said. What did he say last June? And I don't want to put words in his mouth. I did a post on this a little while ago, and the Fed basically said that is a tool in their tool bag. If rates get too high too fast, a tool that they can utilize is cap the rates. If they do that, I could see higher prices in TLT, and that was part of this trade. So that's pretty much it on this trade. I just wanted you guys to kind of see how I do it, how I utilize TLT. I'm constantly following it. I'm constantly following the yields. In fact, if you go over to the watch list, let me see if I can do this. Well, you can't see it on your, well, maybe I can move this over. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, here's this little list right here. Check it out. So I always have this list open. This is TLT, and then it goes into the broad market, SMH, UUP, which is a proxy for the dollar, the NQ futures, the NASDAQ, the IWM, Russell 2000, the biotech, J&K, junk bonds, RTY, which is basically the futures of IWM, the transports, SPX, which is the cash of SPY. Then you have the SPY, the ES, which is the ES S&P futures, RSP, which is the equal weighted SPY. Then you have the MJ, which doesn't really make that much of a difference with the broad market, but I like to have it up here because I like to trade it sometimes. NYA. And as I go down here, RWO, real estate. And as you go through this list, I want you guys to kind of look at this. I got USO, which is oil. Well, it's US oil. Gold futures. XLF, which is financials. SLV, which is silver. FVX. And I'm going to go down here. TNX. I'm going to go down. TYX are all yields. I always have them up because I always want to know what they're doing. TBT. TBT are the yields also, but this is basically inverse. TBT is inverse to TLT. So, and here's another thing we can kind of look at. Another thing we can look at right here is this reversal candle yesterday, right? Reversal candle on heavy volume, and then you have a massive sell-off day to day. Now, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? But this chart, if I back out here, let me do this so you can kind of see the whole screen. Okay, so if I do this, let me put it on a maximum. Let's go time frames daily, 10 years. Right? I mean, always going down, or is this one of those weird? So this is just something to kind of be mindful of. Is I always want to kind of see what it's doing. Do we really think that this is just going to continue higher, or do you think that this is a high? This is at resistance, it's a high, and we are now rolling over, and we're going to start making new lows. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Anyway, if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. Again, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. And on Sunday, we will be doing a live stream so we can go over all of the broad market, and so I can give you kind of the rundown on where I see the broad market going for the following week. We will see you guys in the next video.